Henry Francis Lyte was born in Kelso, Scotland on June 1st, 1793. Henry Lyte was left an orphan at the age of 9, but he had a future, and hence was taken in by a kind Irish minister named Dr. Robert Burrows. Even though Dr. Burrows had 5 children of his own, he still took Henry in and paid for his schooling. He was educated at Portoba, the Royal School of Enniskillen in Enniskillen, Ireland. He was also educated at the Trinity College in Dublin, Ireland, where he graduated in 1814. During his tenure at Trinity College, Lyte was awarded the English Prize Poem on 3 occasions because God had blessed him in this field. After graduating, he intended to study medicine, but as per the will of God, he took holy orders instead in the Anglican Church in 1815. Lyte served the curacies at Taghmon, Morazion and Cornwall. It's said during that time, the rector of Killurin Parish, the Reverend Abraham Swanne, was a lasting influence on Lyte's life and ministry. His longest appointment was perpetual curate at Lower Brixham, Devonshire, England in 1823, where he served for 24 years, a man who had dedicated himself for the will of God. For most of his life, Lyte suffered from poor health, as he would regularly travel abroad for relief, as was customary at that time. There is some controversy as to the exact dating of the text "To Abide With Me." An article in The Spectator says that Lyte composed a hymn in 1820 while visiting a dying friend. It was related that Lyte was staying with the Hore family in County Wexford and had visited an old friend, William Augustus Le Hunte, who was dying. As Lyte sat with the dying man, William kept repeating the phrase, "Abide with me, abide with me." After leaving William's bedside, Lyte wrote the hymn and gave a copy of it to Le Hunte's family. The belief is that when Lyte felt his own end approaching 27 years later, at the age of 24, as he had developed tuberculosis, he recalled the lines as per the Spirit of God had enabled him. He had written so many years before in County Wexford. The biblical link for the hymn is Luke chapter 24 verse 29, in which the disciples asked Jesus to abide with them, for it is toward the evening and the day is spent. Using his friend's more personal phrasing, "Abide with me," Lyte composed a hymn. His daughter Anna Maria Maxwell Ogg recounts the story of how "Abide with me" came out of that context. The summer was passing away, and the month of September, the month in which he was once more to quit his native land, arrived, and each day seemed to have a special value, as being one day nearer to his departure from this Mother Earth. His family was surprised and almost alarmed at his announcing his intention of preaching once more to his people, even though in a bad condition of health. His weakness and the possible danger attending the effort were urged to prevent it, but all in vain. It was better, as he would say most often playfully when in comparative health, to wear out than to rust out. A wonderful word from Lyte. He felt that he should be enabled to fulfill his wish and feared not for the result. His expectation was well founded. He did preach, and amid the breathless attention of his hearers, gave them a sermon on the Holy Communion. For that same afternoon, Lyte, after a walk on the beach, retired to his room. He emerged an hour later with a handwritten copy of "Abide with Me." In that evening, of the same day, he placed it in the hands of a near and dear relative, the little hymn, Abide with Me, with an air of his own composing, adapted to the words. He then left for a voyage to Italy in order to get away from the old damp coastal weather because of his bad health conditions. While en route, he mailed a revised copy of the hymn to his wife and a few days later, on November 20, 1847, while resting in a hotel on the French Riviera in Nice, then in the Kingdom of Sardinia, Father Lyte went to be with the Lord forever. A fellow clergyman who was with him during his final hours reported that his final words were peace and joy. A man who had completed his duty. The hymn was sung for the very first time at Lyte's funeral. Special Thanksgiving services to mark Lyte's bicentenary were held in Taghmon and Killurin churches. The hymn has been popular across many Christian denominations and was said to be a favorite of King George V and Mahatma Gandhi. The text to Abide with Me, Fast Falls or Eventide, first appeared in the famous hymns Ancient and Modern 1861. While Lyte wrote a tune for the hymn, the most usual tune for the hymn is Eventide by William Henry Monk, who had composed the music after being touched by the words of the hymn, as he had lost his dear one at the time. This hymn has a deeper history than what is being said now. This is Abide with Me. Thank you. Stay tuned. God bless.